Lathe tooling setup. More than just cutting tools. In the lathe tooling setup lesson, we concentrate mainly on lathe tooling setup. Learning objectives. By the end of this session, the learner will be familiar with terminology pertaining to lathe tools, understand theory behind lathe tool setup, be able to use a scale to visually determine tool height, be familiar with the reaction of the scale in relations to the tool height, able to measure tool height with vernier, with confidence complete and pass the skill testing quiz at the end of the lesson. There is a wide variety of external tool holders for both manual and CNC lathe. We are looking at common quick release holder with height adjustment thimble screw. Height of the tool is adjusted by loosening the main tool post lock and turning the thimble screw to either raise or lower the tool. Alternately, if a tool post does not have height adjustment abilities, use a shim as required to shim the tool up. The image on the screen demonstrates a use of the shim placed under the tool to correct the tool height. This method only allows for raising of the tool, not for lowering. As a reference, the tool can be brought against the tailstock to approximately set the tool height. Important: while performing this method, we must take extra care that we don't run the cutter into the center, as this will damage both the cutter and the tailstock center. By placing a scale between the tool and the tailstock, we can visually see the misalignment of the tool height. This is just an approximate method using the scale as a visual aid. A face cut will better illustrate the tool height location in relations to the machine and workpiece axes. On an external tool, the ideal tool height is on true center or slightly below the true center line. If we are performing a facing operation, the tool must be as close to below the true center line as possible. The amount the tool is to be set below the center line varies and is dependent on the diameter of the part being machined. In a general turning operation, the larger the diameter being machined, the more room for error there is, within reason. The key term is within reason, and we are going to explore this a little bit further shortly. Generally speaking, on diameter of 25 millimeters and above, we can do up to 0.1 millimeter below the center line, and once again this can increase with the diameter within reason. Let's review what we discussed up to this point. We learned about the importance of tool height setting to the equipment center line. Using a scale between the tailstock center and tool tip to visually check the tool height. If the scale leans towards the tool is low. If the scale leans away from the tool is high. Ideal tool height is equipment center line or very slightly below. In closing, the correct tool height can elevate your machining experience.